Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Hello ladies and gentlemen, let me introduce myself. My name is Ahmad Irfan Akbar from Tax Administration number 115. I'm glad to be here today. Now I will presentation about tax return. Let's go. Continue with me presentation about tax return. I have divided my thought into 4 points. What's the point? Look. My first point is talk about definition of tax return. Second point is talk about types. Third point talk about method, and the last point talk about the fine. Okay, my first point about the definition of tax return. By the way, do you know about tax return? Okay. Tax return is the tax form used to report income and file income tax on that submitted to the government through the tax department called Directorate General of Taxes. Okay. Now look at the second point about tax return types and tax form. There are two types of tax return that need to be known, namely periodic tax return and annual tax return. And besides, there are three types of form for individual tax report. First, Form 1770. Second, Form 1770S. Third, Form 1770SS. And types from corporates is Form 1771. Okay, next slide. Let's go to the next slide. Third point about method, tax return method. Individual tax return can be filed according to two ways. First, manually, which involve going to the tax office and usually involve waiting long time. Second, electronically. This method is time-saving and more effective, but first requires to get one identification number for e-filing. Okay. Finally, the last point talk about the fine. If the tax return are not submitted in time, the taxpayers will be charged with an administrative fee. How much? 100,000 rupiah for individual income tax return and 1 million rupiah for corporate income tax return. Thank you. Before I stop, let me just summarize. I explained about tax return. So the conclusion, we must be obedient in paying taxes because the tax must be paid on time so as not to be fined. Okay, thank you for attention. Do you have any question? Anyone? Oh, anyone? Okay. Why Indonesia use self-assessment system? Thank you for your question. Indonesia use a self-assessment system because the system whereby resident taxpayers will need to file tax returns and pay tax on by himself. Thank you. Okay, maybe that's all from my presentation. Thank you for attention. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Goodbye.